Hello. So, this is me with my new laptop. So, my previous laptop, I was using, I was playing with Fusion 360. I'm nowhere near being proficient with it, but I was running it within a virtual machine. Um, you can see I'm just running Debian. It's actually Debian Stretch. I'm using it because um, I got into Linux because of Linux CNC, and this is what I use Linux for. And then I kind of found out it was a pretty cool operating system and kind of started using it full time. But there's a few Windows side things, Microsoft side things that I like. I want to play with Fusion 360 from Autodesk because it has some pretty cool cam with it, and so far the open source hasn't quite gotten that far yet. Um, and there's some things that are getting kind of close, but for now I'm going to probably have to stick with Fusion if I'm going to do some complicated toolpaths. They're pretty impressive with how they generate their paths. Anyway, so what I do then is I create a virtual machine. This is one of my older ones. It's actually Windows 7. I'm running the um, the virtual devices. Like this is the virtual graphics adapter. Um, and what happens is Fusion scolds me that I'm running software rendering, and it is kind of painful. It works okay for simple drawings, but you get into something complex and it is pretty choppy. Usable, but painful. So, what I'd been looking for is a laptop that I could pass the dedicated video card to the virtual machine. Um, and so far, I had a bunch of Lenovo's that had um, a dedicated video and the Intel video in it, and you could switch between the two. Um, and if you got lucky, you could, and the hardware was set up correctly, you can pass the dedicated video card. And in this case, it's an NVIDIA 860M, I think. You can pass it to the virtual machine. So then the virtual machine sees it as actual hardware. So if you look at this, I can spin it around a little bit more. I can zoom in. You can see and zoom in a little more, rotate it. Oh, ouch, painful, painful, painful. All right, so this was usable but painful. If I can keep saying that. So this laptop is the first laptop that actually allowed me to pass the dedicated video to the virtual machine. So here's a Windows 10 virtual machine running. You can see it sees the NVIDIA GeForce GTX 860M. This is actually a 4th generation i7. Kind of old in the computer scheme of things, but it's the newest laptop I've ever had, so I'm happy with it. I'm gonna close this out. So here is Fusion. It has the same file open, running in a separate VM. So if we look at this, I can zoom in and out. I can rotate it around, and it is darn smooth, very usable. Very happy with the performance so far. No major issues. I mean, it was a heck of tinkering to get this to work, but I think it was well worth it. So this was my unicorn. I finally found a laptop that hopefully I can use for at least a while, and will allow me to learn Fusion. Hopefully, I still haven't quite gotten into it very far, but this will allow me to, use my Linuxy Linux and not have to like dual boot to Windows to run my Fusion 360. So far, so good. I have not had any issues with stability. Every time I have the VM running, it runs, it doesn't crash. Um, Again, I'm very happy with it. So, anyway, hopefully this kind of explains it a little better. So, talk to you guys later.